Welcome back to FNS Network. We doing this, not even an actual episode. We just reacting to this.
Hot take.
Yeah. So we
Hot
got
take.
the trade's official. Where everyone
We all
felt like he should
expected
go
this.
anyway. You know what I mean?
We all expected this.
Now with them declining the trades, I don't know what was going on with the declines. You know what I mean? But
We knew he was going to eventually be gone, though. He wasn't going to be in
Yeah.
the Phoenix uniform next season.
yeah. So that's good. He there. So that's the key here. So now we was just talking a little bit. What was the details of this trade?
All right, so Rockets trade Kevin Durant to the Suns for the Suns to give up Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, a 2025 first-round pick, which right now is pick number 10,
Mm-hmm.
and 5 second-round picks.
What's your thoughts on that right there?
Because I'm an Orlando fan, my mind goes straight to what we gave up to get Desmond Bain and what they gave up to get KD. But if I was just to play glass half full side perspective here, the Suns, they got an inconsistent scorer. They got Dylan Brooks, who's not even, I mean, he all right, but he ain't even he's not on no like real tyrant level stuff like that, because he's not even good enough to back up what his words be saying.
Mm-hmm.
But that number 10 pick, could that mean Derek Queen?
He would fit well with that, if you ask me. I think he'll fit well with that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
With that team, I mean, what it seemed like he's going more so. They built more. You got young guys over there, but you got your veterans over there too. So
You talking about Phoenix?
the Rockets.
Oh, well, I mean, from the Rockets' perspective, my question is, how much of a needle does this move?
I don't think it moves the needle. I just think that I don't know if they get over the hump with this. I just know that you don't have to sit him down in the fourth. I know that.
I'm surprised that they was able to do this while keeping Jabari Smith. Like, if I'm Phoenix, you would have gave me Jabari Smith.
Yeah,
or Reed Shepard or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that right there. I mean, I know Jalen Green was eventually finna. It was coming down the pipeline because he was a trade room for the past couple of years. So,
well, ever since Ime got there, like, he wasn't high on him.
Yeah, so I mean, him being gone is not a shock at all. Him being traded for Durant is not a shock. Actually, that seemed like the perfect place for him to go. It's just, I do feel like they should make another move. The Rockets.
They shouldn't have to. I mean, because think about their lineup, right? Fred VanVleet, KD now. You got your choice of Asur Thompson, Jabari Smith, possibly. I don't know what Reed Shepard is going to be like, because he didn't get much minutes last year. So maybe not having Jalen Green there, he's going to get minutes this year.
Should open the door.
Should open the door for him. And then you got Sengun over there. They re-signed Steven Adams to a 3-year deal. So technically, you shouldn't need to do anything else.
I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just the fact that we are, like with KD, right? At this point,
he's not guaranteed to stay healthy.
Not even just that. Does he affect winning with his scoring at this point? Like, you know what I mean? He's gonna get his points, but do it affect the bottom line at this point? Like, oh yeah, we gonna win a championship with Kevin Durant right now. I mean, he gonna get his buckets, but
I'll say this. They lost in the first round to who? Golden State?
Yeah. They could have still lost that with Kevin Durant.
That's where I'm at with it. I'm at that same exact spot.
So I mean, I just feel like you don't got to sit him in the fourth. That's the flop you got here. You don't got to sit him in the fourth. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kevin Durant.
Which should translate to winning more games. Should.
Yeah. I mean,
it should translate to. I mean, look, they was number 2 seed and they was out in the first round. So I think with Kevin Durant there, they should make it past the first round.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. They should, but it's all about matchups too.
Yeah, but you got a whole bunch of the, like Phoenix. Phoenix, they didn't make the playoffs, and so they started from scratch. I don't know how Devin Booker gonna want to stay around. Because if I'm Devin Booker, Phoenix pretty much has been his franchise.
Yeah, but I mean, they would. I don't know what Phoenix been on because they should never listen. They went to the finals with that roster. They should have ran it back.
Right.
I mean, there ain't no excuse to get there. You got to run it back. You know what I mean? So they dismantled that whole team, and they have not been
nothing since. Desperate reaching.
Yeah, I just that there. I don't know, man.
I mean, because Bridges is still having an impact on the Knicks.
The Pacers and the Thunder is prime examples of just if you build your team right, you can win.
Right.
The Suns had that. They tore it up. You know what I mean? I don't know what they was on. So I mean,
look at what happens with the teams Kevin Durant goes to, for the most part. I mean, because he went to Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
We remember how deep Brooklyn was when he got there. Brooklyn was a deep team.
Only thing I say about Brooklyn is the fact that your major players didn't play together at all like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then he got. Listen, Kevin Durant's not a leader. I don't know how this is a shock to anyone. The dude's not a leader.
That shouldn't be a shock to nobody.
He's a scorer. He does not. He's a dude that he's going.
He just likes to play basketball.
Ball, and that's it. It's not a crime. It is what it is. You got to put him in a certain situation. You know what I mean? To get Kevin Durant and think he about to galvanize troops and be holding people accountable, he's not doing that, man.
Yeah.
You got to know that.
Who on Houston is going to do that? Because right now it's looking more so like that needs to be Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, I mean, him and M.A. holding people accountable, I guess. You know what I mean? It's like we said before, it's not always the star guys who do that.
Right.
It'd be other people that wear the jersey that you may not know who's keeping everything together doing that. So,
right.
I mean,
right. So So they finished number 2 in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a move that could potentially threaten the number 1 spot?
What you mean with Houston? No.
Yeah.
No.
Because, they finished number 2 with what they had last year.
That was last year.
Right. And so, in looking at the landscape of the league, the only other team that's really on the cusp of making some serious changes is Memphis. Because they already got rid of Bane, and they potentially going to be getting rid of Ja Morant. Not sure yet if that really happens, because I heard that the league is like, the rest of the league is watching Memphis to see what happens with Ja and with Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, this is the thing. I don't know what the truth is when it comes to that, because they coming out saying that, oh no, that's not what we own. You know what I'm saying? But then again, who knows? They always lie next to they get traded. That move with Bane, that sound like they on the path of rebuild. That's what it sounds like to me. If that's the first domino, it seemed like.
Yeah, when you get 4 first-round picks in return.
Yeah, so that sound like I'm not stupid. Now, whether you trade Ja this year or next year or trade deadline, who knows? Maybe they seeing what's up. They gonna let them play and then gauge more interest to get them phone calls. That might be the case, but I would think you get phone calls in the summer. I would think your phone be ringing off the hook right now. So
you're right, because ideally you will want to have your team building chemistry, getting stuff together during the off season for training camp and stuff like that, so they can be ready when the season starts. Ideally, that's what you want to do.
I mean, yeah.
So I'm thinking that Ja Morant, even though he said he wants to stay in Memphis,
he's supposed to say that.
Right. But I don't know. But as far as this is concerned, this doesn't I'm not wowed by this. Like,
no, it's
Kevin
a lateral
Durant,
move.
Kevin Durant is not a guy like as much as he may want to be viewed this way or not, but like he's not no guy that when you get him on your team, you automatically go into the finals. No, there's only one guy that's currently playing in the league right now that guaranteed that when he was at his peak, and we see now he doesn't even guarantee that anymore.
No, I mean, listen, look, man. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, Durant is 37. He's going for him to play the way he's playing now is good for him to get buckets. I mean, just people need to. This dude this isn't OKC KD. So this
ain't OKC KD. This ain't Golden State Warriors KD. This is
no. So what they did was pretty much address the fourth quarter. That's what they did. They addressed the fourth quarter.
If he's available,
we'll see what goes on with that. But at the time being, they addressed the fourth quarter. I mean, whether Jalen Green wasn't available when he was there.
No. I mean, like injury wise.
Right.
I mean, injury wise, because Kevin Durant, his last couple injuries was like non-contact injuries, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're going to get these, though. Nowadays, towards the latter end of your career, you're going to get them. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. There got to be another move they doing to kind of, unless you lean in more so on Sengun.
You should have been doing that.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you
should have been doing that.
The main guy. That means this Sengun's team now?
You should have been doing that. You should have been leaning on Sengun. Because Sengun, he don't get outplayed by Jokic when they match up. That's the only other real center that's in this league because Embiid don't want to play. Mm-hmm. You know, so I mean, Sengun is the guy here.
Yeah, that gotta be. I mean, that's the only thing I'm thinking. Like, he got to be you giving the keys to Sengun. It's not Kevin Durant's team. He's there to aid Sengun. You know what I'm saying? So, and Sengun be getting praised. I mean, he was doing his thing. It's just, you know.
Now, I'm not saying that to say that Sengun don't need to get better. He needs to get better, but
everybody, you know what I mean?
But like as far as what this roster got, you can't be leaning on the old heads in this day and age because they don't play the slow pace game anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, I think that the Houston, depending on Durant's health, I have no idea where that direction that's gonna go. You know what I mean? That's what I'm concerned about is his health, really. I'm not worried about him showing up. He always shows up. You know what I'm saying? Say whatever you want about Kevin Durant, he never not shows up.
Right.
So that as long as he's there, the fourth quarter should be addressed. You should have no problems here.
I mean, look at the West.
Got to step up his role.
I mean, well, if you look back at the West, the way things finished out, right? Oklahoma City was the clear number one team, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, once you got past them, then it was Houston with a 2-game spread on LA, Lakers that is, not the Clippers. Mm-hmm. It was Houston Rockets, Lakers, Denver Nuggets, and the Clippers. So Lakers, Nuggets, and Clippers, they all had the same record, 50 and 32. Mm-hmm. Houston had 52 and a 30 record. So it's only a 2-game spread between those three teams. Then after them, Minnesota at 6, Golden State at 7, Memphis at 8, Sacramento at 9, and Dallas at 10. Mm-hmm. I don't see nothing here that says that Houston can't be right back in the same exact spot.
No, I'm not saying they can't. It's just, man, like, I gotta see Durant and his health because the thing is, it's like this. They made a lot. They made a lot of moves. Jalen Green, if he's not available in the fourth quarter, he's deemed useless when it comes to winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what it is.
And it's not available due to injuries. It's available.
No, that's why the coach
don't want him on the floor.
I can't really defend this. If Udoka is sitting you in the fourth, and the key moments of the game, I don't know what to say, man. So I mean, obviously you deemed useless in Houston. That's why with the Suns, maybe this might wake him up. You know what I mean? Maybe. You know what I mean?
Man, look, if having the child, if bringing the child into this world doesn't wake up a grown man, then nothing will. I'm convinced of that fact. Because normally when you have a child, that's supposed to wake up some stuff inside of you to be like, okay, I got to get my stuff together so I can, make sure things is right for the seed. But and Jalen Green, I mean, look, he had a kid and still didn't show up.
What in the F they got to do with the game?
What you mean? What that's got to do with the game? What you mean? Because normally your whole you normally, because being the best that you can be in this league normally is not something that comes across in this era of players. So motivation has to come from somewhere else. Motivation has to come because back in the days when 2000s and behind, players wanted to be the best on the court. Players wanted to be the best. They wanted to prove that they was the best.
No, see, you got some terrible parents that's great at what they do.
No, but what I'm saying is, in most cases, when you start to have a child, that should wake up something in you to be more of an adult and handle your business, because you got a responsibility that you got to take on now.
Man, I hear you,
but that wasn't the case for him, because he wasn't showing up. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if a change of scenery is going to do that for him.
If you cut like that, you cut like that. You know what I mean? If you cut like that, you cut like that.
And all of this stuff that I'm seeing now, saying that Bradley Beal trade reportedly eyed by Suns after Kevin Durant deal. Listen, look, if he rejects the no trade clause, you ain't got nothing to work with.
I don't see why. I mean, listen, like I told you on the WhatsApp, the only reason I see him declining this is due to the fact this is probably his last big contract. It is his last big contract. I'm not even gonna say probably, it is. So he probably trying to hold on to that for dear life. My whole thing is, if I'm Phoenix, I'm buying this dude out, or I'm gonna do that John Wall situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that. I'm not about to sit there and keep dealing with this dude because you holding me hostage. But that's their fault for taking the contract in the first place.
Yeah, so did that. They hold themselves hostage.
I don't feel sorry for you. You know what I mean? But the thing is, I would be trying to buy him out though. I'd have been trying to did that. Like, look, man, you gotta just eat this. Y'all already eating it already. You know what I'm saying? You might as well just cut bait with it. Like, buy him out or do that. I don't know how that contract worked out with John Wall and Gilbert Arenas and them when they was getting paid from the team for a mad long time. I don't know the details of that. But, you know what I'm saying, I'll be doing something like that to get him off the roster, man, straight up. Because he's...
If I'm Phoenix organization, I'm changing the locks to the building. Like, he's not getting in no more. you know that video that they had with the Jet safety Jamal Adams.
Yeah, I was about to say the Jets. I thought that was fake.
No, that was real. He was trying to scan the door to try to open the door, and his jump wasn't working.
They just let him go and didn't even say that.
No, they said something, but his key didn't work no more. That'll be Bradley Beal. That'll be Bradley Beal straight up for me if I was Phoenix. And
listen, just get rid of him. I don't know why they keep playing with it. Just buy the contract out.
Well, they trying not to do that. They trying not to do that because, I mean, I guess from a Phoenix standpoint, technically you got time now. Being that you're not a contending team and you won't be. Why
time
buy
for
out?
What? Because then now if Devin Booker start getting irritated, which he should be, then what? What time for what?
I'm getting rid of him too. I mean, look. It's not like Devin Booker got busy and handled business when he had the opportunity to seal the deal for them to win. Mm-hmm. It's not like he did that. Right. And then they trying to have him run the ones this past year. Well, look how good that worked out. You know what I'm saying?
He's not a point guard, so I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why you would do that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He doesn't have a point guard bone in his body.
Listen, look, if I'm going full rebuild, I don't need nobody heavy on the books at all. So Booker can go and Bradley Beal can go. I'm starting from scratch.
Well, the thing is this. They got Booker is their most valuable asset, to be honest. So you can actually get something decent for him right now
Yeah. So I would trade Booker too. Booker wouldn't be off the hook because we not winning nothing with just Booker. We seen that we couldn't win nothing with him before Chris Paul, and they ain't win nothing with him after Chris Paul.
The Suns about to be a 15 wins team.
Well, you can change that up.
You know what I'm saying? He about to be a 15 win team, dog.
They don't have to be that bad because think about it. There's players out there that hasn't gotten the opportunity to, get the most minutes. They may be coming off the bench and doing something, but if they were starters, like for instance, the first player that comes to mind always consistently has been Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah.
You seen what he was doing when they was forced to give him minutes.
So what you trading? So who you trading to get Kuminga over there? Bill?
I'll try to trade Bill first. I'll try to trade Bill first because the thing is, Golden State, they don't got a lot of what I want and what they would be willing to give up. Like, I mean, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, those are the untouchable pieces over there. So Jonathan Kuminga, he doesn't command a high price. So I'm not giving up the best asset that I got.
Right.
But Beal, if he goes over there and he plays with them in that system, that could be a win-win for them. It's just that if I'm giving up Beal and getting Kuminga in return, you're going to have to slam some picks in that. And I don't know, maybe Podziemski, since he's a shooter. But
are they going to get rid of him?
I don't see why not. If you the Warriors and you just made a move to get Jimmy Butler,
because
what's going to stop you from getting, or go to Sacramento, see about getting Keegan Murray?
I don't know if they want to get rid of him though.
Of course they don't. But with them having DeRozan and Levine and Sabonis over there, if you want to try to still make that work,
I feel like that was some sort of a move where I could see one of them getting traded next year, unless the contract stops that.
Well, technically, they already supposed to be like looking at the trade possibilities for at least DeRozan.
Yeah, I'm not. That's not no permanent move. That was a filler move or something, like to just stay level or something. You know what I mean? That wasn't no.
And then let me see here. Minnesota don't got really nothing that I would want. Memphis, I would be open to Ja. I'll give you Booker for Ja.
That couldn't be straight up though. That could be straight up. They're not about to just do that straight up. You got to throw something else in there. Picks or something. You got to throw something in there.
Bobos.
Fam, you
have Bobos.
They're not about to just do that straight up due to the fact that...
What you mean? Why would they not do it straight up? Because Ja been a headache for them.
But Ja shows more winning than Booker on his own than him.
Yeah, but Ja has been a headache for them.
You gonna trade him for Booker, somebody that you said they can't even really win on the dolo tip? You gonna do that with Memphis?
I'm saying they might. I wouldn't do it, but I'm saying they might because they are tired of Ja, supposedly.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad. Listen, I wouldn't be mad for Phoenix because if you do that for Phoenix, then okay, you got Ja. Jalen Green, you ain't got to worry about him doing nothing in the fourth because Ja got that. You know what I'm saying? If they not working on moving him, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That'd be a pretty athletic backcourt.
Right.
Seriously. That'd be an athletic backcourt right there.
For real. But, it's just one of the things, will they do it?
They're not going to do that straight up, though. They're not doing that straight up. You seen what they got for Bane. They're not doing that straight up.
Right.
There ain't no way you about to call him like, yeah, here, I got Booker for you, and what else?
Well, you already know Cole Anthony and what's his name, KCP. They not better than Booker. They not better than Beal. They not better than Bane. Let's just. I'm gonna just run through each team to see like which players they got that could be willing possible trade assets.
For Ja or Bill? I mean,
for Bill or Booker.
Oh,
Bill or Booker. Portland. You don't want Simons?
Yeah, I'll take Simons.
Simons is a player. I don't know how committed they are to Scoot.
I like Scoot. I'll take Scoot. I like Scoot.
Shaden Sharp. Shaden Sharp is another player. They got, I mean, I don't want Ayton, but Ayton's over there. You know, San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to give up Castle if you want one of those players. You have to give up Castle.
I mean, that seemed more reasonable than Ja Morant. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, because it's real lopsided for them than for me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
you're going to have to throw some picks in there with Castle. It ain't going to be no Castle straight up. New Orleans.
Zion, I guess. I think the Pelicans probably would do that if you called.
They definitely would do that.
I don't care what Joe Dumars talking about. Like, no, we committed. Yeah, shut up. If they said, let me give you Devin Booker for Zion, you're not gonna think too long about that, Joe.
No. And then Utah, Markkanen, Keontae George, Sexton,
you probably
John
do like
Collins.
a combo. You could probably get away with doing Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton, probably with another piece. You probably could do Colin Sexton, Markkanen, and probably. You could do you could swing 3 players for him. And
then look at Cleveland, Darius Garland. You think they'd be willing to move him for more size?
I'm not, man. Darius Garland. Like, I don't want Darius Garland if I'm Phoenix.
No, but I'm just saying, like, these are the options that they have.
You more so better somebody saying, look here, man, we'll give you Devin Booker for Donovan Mitchell.
They ain't doing that. Because Donovan Mitchell
both on the same level.
Donovan Mitchell, he actually showed up this year, like, and in the playoffs, even though they lost.
They still on the same level though. Both of them, they on the same level. Neither one of them is no we ain't home now. Donovan Mitchell, he had this year where he showed up, did handle his business, but they was already dead in the water. You know what I'm saying? So you could say them points was hollow. They was dead in the water. You know what I mean? They wasn't coming back with what was going on. So I mean, I don't know. Donovan Mitchell has not surpassed Devin Booker like that, and vice versa.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong there. I'm not saying you're wrong there. What about New York? Do you think that they would be willing to let go of? I wouldn't. I don't.
It'd be Cat, dog. It wouldn't be.
I don't want Cat.
Brunson.
I don't want Cat.
Or OG. It wouldn't be OG either. It'd have to be Cat because they was talking.
It would have to
Cat.
be Bridges. It would have to be Bridges, or they don't really got nothing over there that you really want in return without feeling like you really, really overpaying. Because Bridges is good, but that's not a straight up trade.
Would you do it for Mikal and OG? Both of them?
Be honest with you, I'd rather have Mitchell Robinson, dog. What Mitchell Robinson just showed the whole NBA, how he can control the whole, how he can impact the playoffs by controlling the paint, getting you all these extra rebounds, defending the rim. Like, the only thing that Mitchell Robinson needs to do really to remain on the floor and stay impactful is practice his free throws. That's the only thing he really needs to do. But outside of that, if he stays on the floor, he makes a bigger impact on the game than a Karl Anthony Towns.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, New York, I mean, you're going to have to, in order to get a guy like Booker, you're giving up some core. You're not about to just...
Of course they are. And I feel like they would be willing to do it because they New Yorkers. They feel like they should win the championship every year.
Okay. All right. You know,
I'm just saying.
Right.
That's how they talk.
Like,
you don't be hearing this from almost any other fan base. It's always them that's always talking like that.
Oh, no,
I'm not saying that
you out of pocket. I'm not saying that. I'm just like, and what type of grounds you got to stand on even feel this way?
Right. And then Indiana. I feel like they could use another player.
Yeah, but you don't want to break none of that up yet.
Right.
Nah.
You rather attack a free agency.
Like
because they got to decide whether or not they're going to re-sign Miles Turner, which is
you re-sign everyone, dog.
Miles Turner technically hasn't had a good finals. He hasn't had one good game. But because he's been with this team and he's got the chemistry with the team, you can always reason why you should re-sign Miles Turner.
Miles Turner, my issue with Miles Turner is he don't know whether he want to play in the perimeter or the paint. Like you got, you know what I'm saying? Like
my issue with Miles Turner is he don't rebound the ball and he's not good defensively. Like he be late all the time. He be late.
There's no reason why you can't block shots and rebound with your height and length. Like that's just what it is.
But the funny thing is, like, once upon a time he led the league in block shots. He felt like that should have been his calling card to win Defensive Player of the Year just he blocked all the shots.
Just because you time blocks, that don't mean nothing. I heard when Iman Shumpert was talking the other day to Wendy, when he was breaking down deflections and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that just defense does not always show up on the stat sheet.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So blocking shots is a stat, but contesting, that's not a stat. You know what I'm saying? Right. Having somebody pass out the shot is the stat. So you got to, in order to be able to...
Kim Noah didn't block a lot of shots, but he was always one of the top defenders in the league.
Yeah, Kim was dope. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you gotta be willing to, in order to get an award like that, you got to be willing to accept that everything you do is not going to be on the stat sheet.
Right.
You got to be able to alter and change up things and just be. Your presence alone can change situations. Nobody's scared to go down low. No, Miles.
Not on him. Not on him. No. All right, and then the next team, Milwaukee.
They don't got nothing over there. Everything over there.
They don't got nothing.
Unless it's Giannis.
I'll give you both of them. I'll give you both Bill and Booker for Giannis.
Milwaukee should do that. I don't see why not.
I would give them both Booker and Beal for Giannis.
Milwaukee probably would do that. Yeah. Contract. That's the
exactly. But the only thing is Giannis going to want to go to Phoenix and essentially be on a team where he's not going to be able to compete for a championship.
No, he's not going to be winning. Like I said, if you trade them two and put them over there. The Giannis, his skill set in the West is not enough to be really. You can get away with that in the East. You can't get away with your play style in the West.
Right.
So
now, let's hit you in the chest.
Detroit.
Is there anything that is there any package that you would like to have to get either one of them?
For Bill, I don't want Bill at all. So we're not doing that. But Booker,
he from Grand Rapids.
Yeah, I know he's from Michigan. So I'm always with bringing the guy to the crib, especially if he's nice. So, because Booker not trash, so not even close. That'll help Cade a lot. Obviously, Ivy has to be a part of that deal. We got a Sewer. We got a Sewer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always get the names mixed up every time.
Right. Amen.
Probably gotta do Ivy or Soar. I don't know what our pick situation looking like. We got to kind of get him a haul a little bit to get Booker. I mean, you probably can figure. You had to really go under there and really like figure some things out without having to throw Cade in there. You know what I'm saying? So Ivy, a Soar, that's two young pieces. They might want Durant up in that too. They might want Durant. You might have to accept getting rid of Durant.
Booker ain't worth getting rid of Durant.
I'm just saying they're not gonna. It's like settling out, dog, with a lawsuit. They're gonna start
because
high, man.
all you're gonna do is create another hole that you're gonna have to fill.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the package have to be centered around a Sword and Ivy off top. Mm-hmm. Off top, I don't think there ain't no way around that right there.
Or Ron Hollins, you ain't gonna throw Ron Hollins in there, or you want to keep him?
I would try to keep my young guy Ron Hollins, but if I can do a Sir Thompson,
and put Tobias Harris in that mode.
Yeah. But if we get rid of Asura and them, then
and Tim Hardaway Jr., you get rid of one of them, you can get rid of both of them.
You could probably do see Asura, Ivy. If you want to keep your big guy throwing around Holland, young guy in there, you will probably want Tobias at the 3 just for scoring purposes when necessary. Even though I'm not like Tobias, he just I don't know, man.
I'm not the biggest fan of Tobias Harris.
So I mean, but you need a 3 in there. So with
just start Asura.
Yeah, but you gotta throw him in the deal though. That's what I'm saying. So Ivy, Asura, Ryan.
I would be trying to keep Asura.
They're not gonna take Tobias. They gonna want as young as possible. So you gotta do Ivy, you gotta do Asura. If you throw Ryan Holland, that's 3 right there. So I'm thinking the light is going a little past yellow, sort of the green here. So I mean, they're probably okay. All right, you know what I mean? So you give me Booker, they probably might want a couple picks in there. I would do those 3 with some picks. Like, hey man, this is
I would
nice.
swap Asura for Tobias and give them more picks.
If they willing to do that, I'll do it. If they, but I'm quite sure you're gonna have to, that's gonna be some back and forth negotiations and tweaking for that. But I'll do that if they will. I think that's a good deal for Phoenix. You got 2 young pieces. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Your rebuilding piece. You already got all them picks from your team. So, I mean, nah, for real. Like,
keep bringing that up, huh?
No, that was Memphis. That was Memphis. My bad. That was Memphis.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so, I mean, I think we can you just got to talk to him. You got to that's not going to be an easy trade to make happen. But I think it could happen. It's just going to be a lot that have to happen under the hood.
Okay.
Without
and then my team,
throw Cade in there.
All right. Well, I mean, Cade is going to be off limits. If they dare to say Cade, you should be hanging up the phone right then and there.
Right.
And if he try to call you back, you say stuff like, "Oh man, yeah, I think the service got knocked out. I thought I heard Cade, and then then the phone just said no." And then
right.
So, but then my team, Orlando, I'll be willing to give up Franz to get another guard.
Man, you be willing to give this dude for everybody, dog. Like,
well, no, because Paolo is the untouchable guy. Mm-hmm. Paolo is the untouchable guy. Realistically, everybody else can be touched. But I don't want to give up Jalen Suggs because I seen what Suggs how he can impact the game with his defense.
That's your 1, right?
He's actually our 2. Sometimes he's forced to play the 1, but we don't got no real 1 outside of Anthony Black.
But wouldn't he make Jalen Suggs spendable though?
Well,
if you actually give him minutes and let him do what he do.
Well, see, my thing is, I would like to keep Jalen Suggs because his defensive impact. I would. Him and Jonathan Isaac, they defensive impact on the game is felt. I would like to try to keep both of those guys. Mm-hmm. I'd rather give you another scorer so you can have somebody that can score with you because Franz right now, he's almost looking like, I'm not saying that he's a number 1 option or anything like that, but what I'm saying is with Paolo being there, they pretty much play the same spots on the floor. And so he needs to be paired with somebody that doesn't play his same spot on the floor. So this could be a win-win for Orlando and for him. Because if he goes over there to Phoenix, then he's going to be the only one that plays his spot on the floor with his size. And then Jalen Green, he's going to be out moving somewhere else.
So Booker and Paolo, that wouldn't conflict as far as they both need the ball.
Well, yeah, I mean, they both scores, but that's where having the real point guard, like, we hope that he keeps developing Anthony Black. Mm-hmm. That's where he comes in. Because he's going to be bringing the ball up the floor anyway. Mm-hmm. And then the coach, he should be continuing to, like, get more creative with, certain sets to run and things of that nature. So he knows when to get hit. But if Booker comes, he has to know this is Paolo's team, not yours.
Yeah, I think Paolo's better than him. I think that's evident. I mean,
Right.
So I mean,
I know he begged Orlando to draft him, which is we should have did this when the draft came.
Booker?
Yeah, because we drafted Mario Hezonja.
Why would he want to go to Orlando?
He wanted to go to Orlando. I can't tell you why he wanted to go to Orlando. I think at that point in time, Orlando's team, it was like missing that score because we just let off of Oladipo. I think we still had Aaron Gordon at the time. I actually liked Elfrid Payton when we had him.
Payton was underrated, personally.
Right. Yeah, I liked Elfrid Payton when we had him. But we needed a scorer, and it was like he would have fit perfect. But we just took the chance on Mario Hezonja, thinking that he was going to be like another version of what a Kristaps Porzingis was.
Okay.
But yeah. And then you got Miami.
You probably
Davion Mitchell is like Davion Mitchell. I don't know what's going on with Jamie Jaquez. Like Jaquez, he had that really good rookie season, but then this year I don't know what.
I know you was big on him.
Jaquez, he was balling. I mean, I was giving him his credit. He was balling.
No, I ain't saying. I'm not saying. I'm just like, but you know how it be. You know, the first year, you say it all the time in football. The first
year wonders.
But then when folks get that footage on you, then it's like, all right, you know what to do to him. You know what I mean? So it's probably what happened with him. So,
then you got the Jovic, the Jovic kid.
Yeah, I like him, but
he all right.
You probably can do. They gonna want Bam. They gonna want Bam, dog.
That's fine. I'll come up off the Bam real quick.
Probably Hero.
I'm not fighting to keep Hero.
So
if I'm getting
Bam,
if
Hero,
I'm getting Booker in return,
and one of them Jovic or Jaquez dudes. Probably Jovic. I'd probably say him.
Jovic had a better season, so right now he's valuable.
You probably gotta give it all three of them for Booker. 100%.
Jovic, Jaquez,
Hero, and all three of them. All three.
That's fine. I still got Davion Mitchell. I'm straight with that. I got the center. I forgot what his name was, but the center that I told you about that they got that, like, you know, he was a young cat and he was, and you was like, that's fine as long as they don't take him out when he makes a mistake. Let him make his mistakes.
Yeah, pretty much. I hate that.
Right.
Let him develop. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and they probably had to do all three of them.
They still got Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, he need to be going to a team like where
he 30-something. He like 30-something. So
he need to go somewhere where he can. That's in a winning situation where his actual shooting abilities can be utilized.
That's like low key. That's like the perfect LA Lakers kind of player that they need.
Yeah, he need to go somewhere where they already tight, established. They just need some shooting. So
Atlanta.
Trae Young off top.
If you Atlanta, are you doing that?
Yeah, I don't know, because Trae Young cold, dog. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, but if I'm Phoenix, I would.
Of course.
But then you gotta think about what Trae Young on. Like, man, I don't want to go from this to that. You know what I'm saying? Like in the West, I'm not gonna win. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he's not gonna win, fam. Like, why would I want to go here where we finally going to we somewhat on the upper
getting back on that upper trajectory
go to the West
with those young athletic players that he's been playing with over there. He want to stay where he at,
and then go to the West where it's already loaded, and then I'm playing on a bad team that don't know where they coming and going. Man,
if anything, Trae Young wouldn't mind being paired with Devin Booker.
Right, but how that's gonna happen? That ain't gonna happen.
They're gonna have to give up them young guns. They're gonna have to go. They got the first or the second overall pick in that Conchar guy. I'll send him over there. He can go.
Yeah.
Him. They got some of them young bucks over there. That's young athletic dudes that look like they just run the floor 40-inch verticals all day long. Like them. They're gonna have to get rid of them. Probably another low-key player for them that could be moved for any team needing a big, Clint Capella, because he's just been sitting down behind Okongwu because he don't fit them no more. Because he's not running up and down the floor like that. Yeah,
he definitely. Now that might be somewhere he can go. The Pacers might could use him.
Clint Capella.
Yep. They can use him. They can
I'm not.
use him.
I mean, I know that they can use him, but what offense they gonna get out of him? Because he'll be a much better rebounder. He'll be a much better rebounder.
Right.
That'll be the answer that they need. He don't rebound the ball. I can't stand him. I can't stand that. Like this dude, it'd be like the end of the game, and you'd be looking like, yo, Miles Turner, he only got like 5 rebounds.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So
Obi Toppin is better than him. I'm not going to debate that. As long as they got Obi Toppin, they don't need to re-sign Miles Turner technically.
No, I like Obi. I mean, I thought he was decent in New York. So I mean, he's getting slowly better. I'm not saying he like progressively getting cold, right. But he's getting better little by little. So I don't know if the Hawks they have to gut their whole situation to even bring Bill over here.
It's just are you willing to gut your core?
Booker, I mean.
Is you willing to gut your core players or your draft picks, whichever one you end up doing? Is you willing to do that, and then because you're gonna have to fill them slots with. That's
what I'm saying, dog. Like I don't think it's worth all that. If I'm Atlanta, I'm not doing that. I'm like, nah, man. We finally on the up and up. So I don't want to reset it again. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to reset it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
All right. That's them. Chicago.
Bulls got some. They got some.
Josh Giddey.
They're not doing Josh Giddey. They just got him.
Yeah, but they'll get rid of him to get somebody that they think is better. Josh Giddey.
Is he definitely like extremely better than Josh Giddey at this point?
No, because Josh Giddey does more on the floor.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. Like I don't know.
And then I don't really think
they're not getting rid of Josh Giddey, man. So Josh Giddey is the untouchable one. 100%. You know what I mean? They're not. I wouldn't do it.
And then I don't know what they think of Kobe White, but
he's gonna be in the deal off top.
Right, Kobe White. I don't know who else they got. Vucevic. He'd be in the deal. They can get a center off of that.
He'd be in the deal. Those two will be in the deal. Even though the Bulls players is they cool.
You feel like you can get better.
They cool and all. It's like
you feel like you can get better.
That's why they're not coming up off of Josh Giddey, dog.
Right.
Off Josh Giddey.
All right, then Toronto.
You could probably do what's dog name?
Do you think Scotty Barnes, after dealing with all this other stuff, do you think he gonna be wanting to get up out of there?
Where's he from, first of all?
He from Florida. He from Orlando.
So he probably would want to leave to go to the Heat, dog. He probably wouldn't mind going to Phoenix, dog. I ain't gonna lie. I would. I wouldn't even care. Give me out of Canada. I'll go to the Suns.
Right.
I would. You know what I'm saying? I think that's an easy trade because I don't think Barnes and Booker far from each other. I don't think that's some unfair move here.
I think Barnes is better because he does more. He kind of plays the role of a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, they just in the same realm because Barnes not no superstar or nothing. They're in the same category. That's what I'm saying.
He's like a lower version of, I guess you could say, I don't even know if that'll be wrong too, because I can't say he's a lesser version of Tyrese Halliburton. But
Halliburton this year he has kind of moved past certain things here.
I mean, this playoff run. Because during the regular season, it was like a roller coaster.
Yeah, but they say the playoffs where you make the name, and he ended up 1 game away from a championship. They got to give his credit. So
then you got R.J. Barrett over there.
They got some talent over there, actually, dog. They got
Emmanuel Quickly, Jakob Poeltl.
If you the Raptors, do you want to break it? Do you want to just see where it goes?
You ain't going nowhere with this. You need a player that's
over there.
No, but like you gonna be like a team that's you gonna be consistently middle of the pack.
So
you're gonna be consistently middle of the pack with these guys, unless Scotty Barnes makes some like out of this world progression. You're gonna be consistently middle of the pack.
Booker for Barnes isn't a bad move.
It's not.
So, I mean,
but when you get Barnes, that kind of that kind of helps with your lack of having a real point guard situation because he got a little bit of that in his game where he can run offense.
Yeah, Barnes. That actually to me is a slight upgrade.
Right.
For
and you
Phoenix.
get more size, you get defense, you get rebounding.
I would think Barnes would be happy going there because it's more like home, maybe. Because it's Phoenix, it's hot. I know it's not the South, but still, you know, it's the West Coast. But
Booker, would he be all right with Toronto? I mean, he's close enough to Michigan.
It's close to the crib, so I mean,
right.
I
don't know.
I mean, that seemed like a good move, though. That's a nice. I don't think you got to give up. I think Scotty Barnes.
That could be straight up.
Yeah,
that could be straight up.
You can do that. Yeah.
All right.
That's probably the easiest.
All right, next team. I don't know what we're gonna find with this one. Brooklyn.
Skate past them, dog.
Okay. All right. All right, then. All right, next team. They got pieces, but I don't think Philadelphia is gonna want to get rid of them. The Sixers.
Why not? Why not?
The Sixers.
Why wouldn't they get? You can.
The only piece that you should.
Man, listen.
They don't want him. They don't want him. They don't want him. They don't want him.
Let me get Booker up off you. You know what I'm saying? I give you Embiid.
If I'm Phoenix, I don't want Embiid. I don't want Paul George. The only piece that I want is Tyrese Maxey. That's the only piece that I want.
Is Maxey better than Booker right now?
Is he? Because he's been balling.
He got a higher ceiling at this point, maybe.
But we seen. So, would you say we seen Devin Booker's ceiling?
Devin Booker's who he is to me. So,
all right. So, is this version of Tyrese Maxey better than Devin Booker's ceiling?
Unless he done capped out, no. If he actually improves the next couple of years, I feel like he has a higher ceiling. At this point, he's younger. But if he stay here with it, then no, he's not better than Booker. But I still don't know. He's actually a point guard, right? He's listed as a 1, right?
Maxey?
Yes.
No, he's a 2.
He's a 2.
They
don't be having him at the 1?
I don't know if he's listed at the 1 or not, but you can see the way he plays. He's a 2.
So you would have to.
You getting score for score. That's lateral.
You have to. Yeah, that's not gonna change nothing. I don't know. They gonna want to offset Paul George and them, dog. They not going.
If anything, that helps Phoenix because Phoenix gets cheaper on the books.
They gonna want to offset. You're not calling Philly thinking you about to get Maxey. They're not trying to offset one of them bad contracts on you, dog. It's not happening. They like, hey,
no.
You know what I'm saying? You can take Paul George with you. You know what I'm saying?
Paul George. I don't want to touch Paul George or Embiid.
You know what I'm saying? You're not calling them.
I'm not touching Paul George or Embiid. I mean, the sound of Embiid sounds better, but we all know what comes with Embiid.
Nah, I just think you probably could like Maxey for Booker, like you said, it's a lateral move. It don't make Phoenix better. I don't even think it makes Philly better.
It opens the door for Phoenix to get better faster, because if they was to pull that move, you get a cheaper version of Devin Booker. You get a whole lot of openings on the books.
Yeah. So it benefits.
And then you can attack free agency aggressively by throwing a few more millions on everybody that you're interested in.
Yeah, but you gotta get rid of that bill contract to even do that.
I'll give him both of them just for Maxey, to be honest with you. I'll give him both of them.
That's a lot for Maxey.
That's fine. Philadelphia ain't gonna win with it anyway. They ain't gonna win with it anyway. I mean, I may look like the fool in the beginning, but because one thing that Philly got that you might want in return too, I think they got like the number 4 pick.
In this year's draft?
Yeah, in this year's draft. So give me Maxey, give me the number 4 pick. You can have both of them.
That's not bad. Yeah, you can probably, because what you can do is you can get Queen with that.
For real.
You can get Queen
for
with
real.
That.
And I don't know what pick Phoenix got. Phoenix got, they just traded it away. No, they didn't. They got the 10th pick from the Rockets.
Do they?
They got the 10th pick from the Rockets.
Oh, so you could, okay.
You could really reset your team real fast.
So really, actually, yeah, you're right. You could just here.
Let me see what the NBA draft order is, because they got their pick, I think, as well as this number 10 pick from. Let me see something here. So. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me pull up the trade details again, because that joint, I'm confused now for a second. I'm really confused, because that right there. Let me see something. Yeah, the Suns got the 10th pick in the draft, so they got the 10th pick from Houston. Oh, okay. So they don't have another pick in the first round till pick 29. So I'll do a pick swap. I'll do a pick swap with them. I'll give you both Booker and Beal. You give me your 4th, because that's where they at.
Yeah, it's not. Come to think
No,
about
I'm sorry. They got the 3rd pick.
I definitely do that. I do that. Because you might as well just go ahead and hit the hard reset. I do that. And at least you got something to work with. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, next team, Charlotte. Do they got anything you want?
They got some hard pieces over there. It's just it feel like it seems
like people, better.
It seems like people just be taking people from Charlotte and they be better elsewhere. I'm saying, like,
Charlotte is not a winning organization. They ain't trying to win.
But they be having some alright dudes over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they got some good players over there. They got the other Bridges. He's good, but he said that he wants to stay in Charlotte for whatever reason. And then, what's the other young cat name? The one that they just drafted not too long ago. Hold on, I'll tell you real quick. I'll just look at their roster. Because he looked like he got some potential to be good. Brandon Miller.
Yeah. I mean, they be having pieces over there. That's what I'm saying. They got actual decent pieces over there that you can use. You know what I mean? So I mean,
Brandon Miller, and then on top of that, Charlotte got the 4th pick. So you can give me that pick, and I'll give you. You talking about like bringing the names to them. LaMelo Ball would probably playing with them.
LaMelo have to learn how to play winning basketball. I mean,
right.
This is what it is. I mean, I don't think any star, when they right mind, want to play with a guy like LaMelo, because he. Do you think so?
Do you think LaMelo, Booker, and Beal? Do you think that?
What?
Do you think that they can make the playoffs?
No.
Because looking at the East, this was who was in the play-in last year. The play-in tournament was Orlando, Miami, Atlanta, and Chicago.
No,
and then
you gotta be able to play winning back. All them dudes need the rock, man. Like now, if LaMelo actually implemented some Lonzo in his game, like honestly, if I'll be like this, look, man, go train with your brother Lonzo, man, and pick his brain as far as running the point guard position. Because he could score better than him. I'm not saying, but man, he cannot play point like he don't play like a point guard, dog. So it's like play with you. I don't understand how you didn't take any of that anyway. But I mean, if he put some Lonzo in this game, okay, cool. But
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, I'm just trying to see if there's anything that they can do, which is, it sounds like there's really nothing that they can do.
Now there was a small stretch though where LaMelo was looking good as a point guard though for a little bit. He was doing that, but then he just shifted from that. I don't know why. Right.
All right. Last team, Washington.
They got some, that's another team that be having some all right pieces over there, but
they got Sadiq Bey.
They can't put it together. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Sadiq Bey.
Jordan Pools. I don't know if anybody wants Jordan Pools.
I'll be taking I'll be trying to get their rookie first of all. Let me get him off.
Sar?
Yep. Let me get him off. He's going to be in the deal off top. I think Sar's okay. I don't think he's bad. I think with some development, he could be all right. But he's a project in my opinion. But
they got the former Pistons Sadiq Bey.
Yeah, he's a guy at this point. I think you got to throw him on a team that's winning for his value to be more effective.
And they got Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, they have solid pieces, but all these pieces, these are guys that how Gafford and them did.
Mm-hmm.
That you got to put them in a situation like that for them to shine. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna shine like that on a team like that. They got to go to a team that's already on point. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, they got other players on their team that I'm thinking that they on their way out the league, like Marcus Smart, Chris Middleton.
Yeah, Smart. He has to go to like a championship roster, or he's not. His value is a zero. Honestly,
Rashawn Holmes.
Yeah, they have solid pieces. It's just the Wizards. They need to hit the hard reset. Honestly, if anybody.
Right.
So
right. We didn't talk about Boston. We skipped right over them, but I just assumed that Boston wouldn't. I just assumed Boston wouldn't want to take on big contracts when they already in a bad contractual situation where they got to get rid of players so they can have something to do.
Would you trade Brown for Booker?
They can't. No.
I'm saying they flirting with this look, man. I'm just saying.
If I'm Phoenix, I'm doing that. But if I'm Boston, I'm not.
If Phoenix called you, because if you talk about trade, I don't know if you talk about trading Jalen Brown, if he's even an option to be traded, what are you going to get for him anyway?
You would have to have a number of picks that I can load up on.
Because he's not going to be
You would have to have that.
Not going to be talented.
You would have to have that. And you would have to give me that number 10 pick that you just got from Houston.
Yeah, it's not going to be talent. So if you're doing talent,
you're going to have to give me that. You're going to have to give me that. I don't want to hear nothing else. Honestly, I want to hear the number 10 pick before I hear Devin Booker. Honestly.
So you saying the Celtics about to reset? Are they headed to a reset?
To me, well, they already came out and said that they starting lineup is going to look completely different next season. So they're going to be offloading some players. The injury to Tatum kind of saves Jalen Brown from being moved.
Does it?
But I think so. I think so because Boston, they still want to maintain some sort of relevancy here. And he's the only one that he's the only one. Well, I don't know about all of that because Tatum. We have this talk about Tatum. Kristaps is out the door. He's not.
I don't know what was going on with him. There was all kind of situations with that rumors.
Kristaps is out the door.
He's gone. Tatum is gone. He's gone for the year. They talking about trading Drew Holiday,
that makes sense to me.
Because
cool. if you Boston, you don't want to get rid of Derek White. You don't want to get rid of Jalen Brown. Tatum obviously is going to be off the table since his injury.
Is he going to retire or is he sticking around?
You want to replace him regardless. Who cares what he feels?
So
who cares what he feels?
If
you want to get rid of him,
banking on Derek White and Jalen Brown,
and then Pritchard. You ain't trying to give up Pritchard neither.
Those three. How many wins you getting with that? What
you got to see what the rest of the team gonna look like around them for you to say anything.
So it's a question mark for them, pretty much.
Yeah, it is. It is a question mark. It is a question mark. But those three players, being that they've played with each other for this amount of years, those three players is good enough to keep Boston in the playoff conversation. I'm not saying that they're gonna last long, but they'll be in the playoffs. And then, whatever they get in return.
So if Phoenix called you about Devin Booker, you not interested at all?
Only if it means I'm not giving up them three.
There's nobody else. You can't get
then,
nobody.
We can't talk. We can't talk. We can't talk. I'm sorry. We can't talk. We can't talk. I mean, like I said, if I'm Boston, I feel like Boston is a well-ran organization.
Mm-hmm.
They got Brad Stevens up in the office. He kind of may need to come back down and be the coach again. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a better coach than Mazzulla.
Yeah, he is. He works better with lesser talent. I say that.
Yeah, I mean a whole lot of coaches do. Doc Rivers works better with lesser talent.
Yeah, so
his best year coaching still to the date, if you ask me, was that year with the Clippers when he ain't had no superstars.
Yeah, I mean, well, coaches get to do what they do. They ain't getting no pushback. So
right.
I mean, when you when you playing with certain players that just want to play and they gonna listen. When you got superstars, my way, you know what I'm saying? So you always gonna have that pull, that tug of war. So I mean, Jalen Green. So you don't think that he's gonna have? You don't think this is a wake up call being booted like this, or no?
Ain't nothing gonna wake him up. He gonna be just living the same life, dog. He gonna be living. The only difference is he can live it on a worse team, which theoretically would mean that he won't be in the limelight as much. So,
yeah. So I mean, I
guess he ain't gonna change, man. Like he ain't. Listen, these new players. We always talked about this. They don't have that same grind for the game anymore. They don't got that same grind for the game.
Yeah,
they don't. First of all, they not even men. You know, they could be of age, but they not real men.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hear that with Anthony Edwards every time he talk. He don't sound like a grown man.
Yeah, I mean, it's different nowadays, man. So I don't really. It's different. I think to conclude the trade, I think it's a lot of remove, but I think it's better for Houston because they don't have to worry about that fourth. But then you opened up a new door for issues as far as injuries.
I think it was amazing that they was able to pull this trade off without giving up Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith is a 3-and-D player. Then you still got Sengun. You re-signed Steven Adams. Then you got Van Vliet already over there. Reed Shepherd need to get more playing time now.
This probably opens that, and that's a shooter right there. So
right, he gonna be ready for all of that. And then I'm just pulling up their roster to see if there's anybody else worth mentioning here. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you can't forget Amen Thompson.
Yeah, they weren't coming up off him.
Right. So
they wasn't coming up off him.
The fact that they got those players still with Kevin Durant, and all you gave up was Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks.
Durant got some heat with him. I see that. He's surrounded by.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think?
That's why I was asking the question: does this threaten Oklahoma City? Because Oklahoma City, I mean, we looking at them in the finals right now. They really only got one guy that's consistently showing up for work. The other two players that they got, Chet and Jalen Williams, while they showing flashes of moments, they not consistent.
The Thunder is role players with SGA. That's what they are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because on any other team, like this is a good team. They work well together. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna see the flaws like this when it comes to championship basketball.
Right.
All flaws will be shown here. So,
but what I'm saying is, if you do the matchups comparison now between Rockets and the Thunder,
yeah, that threatened them. I mean, you got Udoka you see the coach is getting coached out of shots right now. Dog.
Right, yeah, he get coached out.
This is not
like.
So what you think your mate gonna do with this? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like,
and he's a defensive coach.
Right, you got Durant over here. You got all these
and he got it's not like he got length.
Right.
He got length. Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith, and Kevin Durant when he wants to can play lengthy defense. That's going to bother all of them cats. Even SGA.
that's not an easy match. Houston's not going to be an easy team to deal with regardless. So, I mean.
No. I mean, and then I like Hartenstein and Sengun matchup. That matchup is good.
Sengun.
Yeah. Sengun should be able to win that matchup, but it's not like Hartenstein's going to be like crazy outplayed here. Because he still plays like an old school big. He gonna box out, get rebounds, and whatnot.
Yeah, but he kind of obsolete on offense.
But that's where you're supposed to get your offense from Chet, which is then you ask yourself, is
Chet not overrated to you?
I think he's overrated, but like the matchup is Chet versus Jabari Smith, and Jabari can check him.
Well, you should be able to check Chet anyway. He's a light sheet of paper, dog. Like he ain't really
right.
Chet, man. Like I look at him play, and it's like it's because he's 7 foot, whatever he is.
Right.
Because
honestly, you can put KD on Chet.
Yeah, KD cooking Chet, fam. Like Chet
cooking him. and I don't know what Chet. I mean, it's not like Chet gonna be able to bulldoze his way over KD.
Nah. Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be. I'm not saying anything as far as this team is going to do this or this team's going to do that. No, all I'm saying is that this is a threat now.
The fact of the matter is, when Houston is on your schedule and everybody healthy, that's a problem.
Right.
You're gonna be like, dang, man, we gotta deal with this. Like, it's not gonna be an easy, especially with Ime Udoka as the coach. You know what I'm saying? And he's solidified and certified. So, and it's not like, you got this the thing when you got that good blend of veterans with young talent. Mm-hmm. You got Van Vliet, say what anyone want to say about him, but he played on a championship team, he know what that looked like. You know what I mean? And
that's going to benefit Reed Shepherd the most.
Yeah.
Man. I'm gonna be interested to see what Reed Shepherd gonna do this year.
I feel like they got a good mix of veterans and young dudes over here.
Mm-hmm. Because Reed Shepherd, I mean, I thought that he was, until we saw my man's on LA, Connect. Mm-hmm. I thought Reed Shepherd was the best player in the draft.
Well, it should have been them two, but they both kind of got played. So
right, yeah. So now, I know he was dope in college. How is that going to translate to the NBA? Because you know that always happens with players be really dope in college and then they have to play a role. Reed Shepherd's game says that he could be a great role player. Like he could be on some JJ Redick.
I was about to say JJ Redick. I mean, because JJ Redick was on some God stuff in college, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Then when he got to the league, he was a straight up shooter.
Right. Yeah.
But cold shooter too, though. JJ Redick cold, man. As far as shooting, man. So I feel like I do feel like his ceiling is JJ Redick. I don't think that's a bad ceiling either, because JJ Redick. Now he
had a long career.
Now JJ Redick talk. If you hear him talk, you would think he was a superstar.
I mean, he just flexing his IQ. That's all.
If you hear him, you wasn't no superstar though, man. He was a good shooter though.
Right, but look at all the dopest coaches in the league.
Mm-hmm.
When they played, most of them wasn't superstars. They was the role playing guys.
Yeah, they watched that. You know what I mean? It's
even in the NFL like that. I mean, it's the same way in the NFL. It ain't too many head coaches in the NFL that was superstars when they played.
Yeah.
Like Dion is setting a different precedence here because he's like the first superstar player to be a head coach to actually have some success to kind of back it up.
Staff in Colorado was crazy, dog.
But that's the NFL. There's so many coaches involved.
Man, he got a code. Didn't he just bring a Warwick Dunn? Was it Warwick Dunn or was that
Marshall Faulk?
Marshall Faulk, okay, yeah.
Marshall Faulk.
I mean,
so he bringing in the top tier players. like if any player dare to question anything that they say,
right?
If they just dare to question, he could be like, "Here's young man, let me show you what I did."
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like. Marshall
you still
Faulk
want to question me right now?
Marshall Faulk was that dude. You got Sapp. Yeah, you can't. There's no room. Y'all have nothing. Now, the NFL might be a little different with questioning, but college, yeah, y'all shut up and listen. Just shut up.
Not even in the pros.
You know what I'm saying?
Not even in the pros. Not even in the pros. Who gonna tell Dion shut up?
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about in college. They telling them, hey, listen, I've been there, done that, and all that. I mean, you don't know nothing about this. You was nice in high school. You trying to get to where I was. You know
right.
what I mean?
And they don't, and to be honest with you, every last one of those coaches, they don't even got to show their NFL tape. They can show their college stuff.
Right.
Because Deion can just flex Florida State stuff.
Right.
Marshall Faulk can flex San Diego State stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Warren Sapp can flex his Miami Hurricane stuff.
Yeah.
And they all gonna be quiet.
Right.
They ain't gonna have no right to say nothing.
Right.
And if they say something, then that means that they don't need to be on the team.
Exactly. But yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm like, dang, he got a staff.
Right. And so, like, looking at this, Ime Udoka, coach,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't no superstar when he played.
Nah.
He wasn't no superstar when he played. So, I mean, look, that's where the brains be at, dog. So, Reed Shepherd, if he's going to be JJ Redick, then he should have a high IQ.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially, you got to be, this is one thing I give JJ Redick, because you got to be able to find your spots on the floor. You can't be dumb doing that. You got to know angles and all that. So, I mean.
And JJ Redick always knew where that was.
Because I tell people, like, yeah, get into your spot. You got to know angles, degrees, all that stuff. You got to be able to, because basketball, if you getting defense on you, you got to call the game by the inches, almost centimeters. I got like an inch to get this off. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you never going to be. So they say when a person backed up, how many feet you wide open? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They still close. You know what I mean? But I'm open. So, I mean, you know. Yeah, so I guess we get in that day. I gotta go to the grocery store anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm put this up today. But okay. So do we conclude Houston wins the trade here?
We gotta wait and see the rest of what Phoenix does. Mm-hmm. Because depending on what Phoenix does, I mean, if you just look at this trade individually, then yes, Houston won the trade. Mm-hmm. Houston won the trade. But if you look at it for the off season, waiting to see what Phoenix does, and who knows, maybe Houston got something else up their sleeve. I don't know. But if Phoenix does more off season moves, mm-hmm. then you could say that they could win this trade too, because they set themselves up for the real future. Mm-hmm. Whereas Houston is kind of like, it's not necessarily a win now situation. Like, if they don't win now, they won't be able to have a chance to win tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But you got to find replacements for Kevin Durant, Van Vliet, because those guys are very important. And unless Sengun makes that next step, and unless Jabari Smith makes that next step, and Reed Shepherd turns into what he can be, mm-hmm. then you can call this a win for them because it pays off.
All right, cool. Well, guess we conclude that. I'll make sure I had this up. I made the artwork while we was on here. So,
and don't let Kevin Durant get hurt, because if Kevin Durant gets hurt, then automatically Phoenix won.
Maybe if Jalen Green's available, if he shows up, they
got the 10th pick.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, if that turns into Derek Queen,
yeah. They got to use them though. You know what I mean? So
right. I mean, ain't nobody over there gonna take no minutes from him.
Who? Queen?
Yeah. All they got over there is Bobos and what's his name? Youssef.
Nurkic? Oh yeah, I forgot he was over there. He probably getting traded.
Yeah.
He probably getting moved. I forgot to mention his name. He probably getting moved somewhere.
Right.
I'll take him in Detroit.
You'll take him?
Yes.
You like Youssef?
Yes. He can score down low, man. You know what I'm saying? I've always liked Youssef. He's not no great defender, but you can throw it to him down low. You know what I'm saying?
Man, look, I'm telling you right now, I'd rather have my mans that stay getting disrespected. Ooh. He always get overlooked. Jonas Valanciunas. I'd rather have Valanciunas, man.
They are on the same boat, man. Him,
no, Valanciunas better than Youssef.
For Chicago, dog.
Valanciunas better than Youssef.
All three of them, they in the same table, dog.
Valanciunas better than Yusef.
They got slight differences. You know what I'm saying? They got slight differences.
And I think Valanciunas plays better defense than Vucevic.
No, I'm just saying them three are at the same table. I don't think like they all on the same level here, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? You
don't think there's no drastic difference?
No, you picking one of them is better at defense. You got some that might have like all three of them dope to me. You know what I'm saying? I like the guy from Chicago. I keep messing his name up.
Vucevic.
Yep. Then my man's for the Clippers and Yusef. I like all three of them. You know what I'm saying? I take.
You're talking about Zubac.
Yeah, I take either of the three. You know what I'm saying? Either of the three. You know what I mean? But they are the same table. But I do like Yusef. You know what I'm saying? I do like Yusef.
Got you.
I mean, but I guess we conclude that here. You know what I'm saying? Then. This would be up today, actually, because I got to put it up today.
All right, bet.
All right.
Peace.
Yep.